Good morning. Let's take a look at yesterday, and it's the one that got away, really. I have to look at the in-play stats and trust the in-play stats. They weren't showing me a Maccabi Tel Aviv response to the Hamrun goal. I was expecting something like this. 1-0 Paphos, underdog, leading. Don't forget, this is effectively the first half. Second half, well, they might get away with it. Keeping Dynamo Kiev very, very quiet. Again, this was one I wouldn't have played. I wouldn't have taken on that Paphos lead. Although, if you had done with insurance, you'd got away with a break even. Why didn't I get involved with this, even though it's a 1.3 favourite? I should have done, really. It was a late goal from Hamrun, thoroughly deserved. The pressure, at least, deserved a goal. It was a penalty. Maybe that would have changed my mind. Revivo revived Maccabi Tel Aviv, and Madman getting the late winner. Revivo and Madman. What is this? The Fantastic Four or something? It's all going on for the superheroes in Maccabi Tel Aviv. One that got away. Real pity with that. Elsewhere, Malmo and Copenhagen was just too tough to call. But for me, I think if you investigate the in-play stats, Copenhagen, I think, could be the team to go through over the two legs. Second half in particular, if you go to match on soccer24.com, go to stats, second half, and what can you see there? A whole raft of red on the right-hand side. 5 shots to 1 second half. The elephant in the room, no shots on target. 3 corners to 0. Again, very muted. 0.3 to expected goal versus 0.02. So absolutely nothing doing from a Malmo perspective in that second half. It was all Copenhagen. 12 touches inside the box as well, inside the opposition box. That's a compelling stat as well. That's where all of the majority of their action occurring. The goalkeeping stats I do like. Well, blank at the end of the day. Probably down to the 0 shots on target. Someone's got a zooped up exhaust. Ooh, I bet his friends are very excited with him with his zooped up exhaust. So back to the football. Second legs is where it's going to be for these, for me. Dynamo Kiev must respond to Paphos. And I did warn you in the research. The whole point of doing this research is to find out these little angles. Paphos did this in their prior round. Kept it very, very quiet to a 1-1 and a 0-1. Karabag were kept quiet by Skendu as well. The in-play stats were implicit. It's a very, very tight match. That I'm bitterly disappointed with. That should have been a profitable trade yesterday. Just didn't see the in-play stats. Let's look a little bit closer. See if I was right or wrong, at least from this stats feed's perspective in the second half. Just wasn't seeing it. You see, only 2 shots on target for the whole of the second half. And throughout the whole match, only 2 shots on target for Maccabi Tel Aviv. That's why I didn't fancy them yesterday. And I do remember it's a 2-legged affair. This is only half-time. A 1-0 deficit by half-time. Teams are not going to worry too much. 2 goalkeeping saves as well for Maccabi Tel Aviv. So a good performance from Hamrun, but I'm afraid they're done because they've got the Maccabi Tel Aviv home leg to go. Had they kept it to 1-0, they could have had a real go in that second leg. So this is the problem we face this evening again. We've got more European action. African Cup of Nations, always worth a look. At least we've got an odds-on favourite there today in Tanzania. I think Mauritania, in their last match, one of the 2 sides was red-carded. And Mauritania, if it was Mauritania, they failed to take advantage against Madagascar. Awful performance from Mauritania. Yeah, the red card for Madagascar. Andriana Bananarama. Fantastic stuff from Bananarama there. Red carded. Didn't respond. So that's concerning, particularly today, because they're playing 11 players today. So I'll be looking on that one with interest. It has been a good competition. It is competitive. It's not a friendly tournament. Are they just showing off their exhaust today? He's gone, thankfully. 2 people with brand new exhausts. There you go. Burkina Faso, Central Africa. Well, Tanzania, 1.83. Tanzania were pretty good at odds on last time. So I would be looking at the in-play stats here at 6 o'clock. Lance Pokel. Well, it was busy enough yesterday. Lingby were very, very good. Vin Diesel, anything to stop him doing Fast and Furious films. Playing AAB Aalborg. Elsewhere, none of the big boys really playing. Esbjerg is a team I know. It's going to get short shrift unless there's some compelling stats evidence. The fact that it's on at the same time as the European competitions means I'll have the in-play stats feed up for you. Champions League, Kairat Almaty, very, very impressive performance from Kairat Almaty against KUPS. A 2-0 deficit in the first leg. Home advantage for Borat's boys, and they took advantage of that. They're playing a pretty decent Slovan Bratislava. Some of these sides have been demoted from the Champions League. No, they haven't. I'm talking about the Europa League lot, so ignore that completely. Red Bull Salzburg against Brann of Norway were very, very impressive. Conceded the first goal, scored 4 in response. This looks a little bit tighter. You know all about the odds by now, don't you? There's one thing you're taking out. It's the fact that the market gives you clues. It's incredibly difficult Champions League night tonight. Made more difficult because some of these leagues haven't begun yet. Ludogorets against Ferencvaros. Again, 2.55 the favourite. You daren't make a prediction. The previews are excellent. Do please read those. But there's very little for us to get our teeth into. They do provide you with some stat patterns. Lech Poznan against Red Star Belgrade. Again, 2.45 the favourite. Sorry, I'm giving all of these short shrift. There's absolutely nothing I can offer you pre-match. And, well, nothing. I can't predict the winner. The market makers, the professionals who price up these matches can't pick the winner. So just take the hint. Feyenoord, the Dutch Eredivisie season will be beginning soon because we had the Johan Cruyff Cup PSV against Go Ahead Eagles just last week. Fenerbahce, the special one, the poor love, being paid $11 million a year, probably to get Fenerbahce some Champions League football or to get them as deep as possible into the Champions League football. So that will present an interesting angle, I think. You know what you're going to get with the special one, don't you? Stifle Feyenoord and look to nick a 0-1. Feyenoord are managed by Robin van Persie. And that could be a negative for them. You've got Robin van Persie, the special one. I wouldn't be siding with Robin van Persie. A total lack of Champions League experience. Special one's been there, done there, got the T-shirt, got the 40 million quid payout from Man United. I'm not bitter. Nice against Benfica. Benfica, for me, on paper, look the better of the two sides, but neither side's football season has begun yet domestically. But this I would target personally. I think the special one might have a little bit too much now. But don't forget, these are the first of 2 legs. You saw yesterday's losses for Dynamo Kiev, for example. It's not panic, Mr. Mannering. You've got the second leg to come. So that's an important consideration. But I do like some of these matches' profiles. I have been very impressed with Red Bull Salzburg, but our Club Brugge is a step up, naturally a step up from Brann from Norway. Nice and Benfica. I quite like Benfica from a Champions League perspective. If you want to look more in depth, UK.Soccerway back in the old day when it wasn't butchered, the layout wasn't butchered like this. It was an extremely effective website when you looked at the Champions League in isolation. They've completely cocked this one up. It really is awful. We don't have any Champions League option here now, do we? So I don't know how to look at the prior Champions League form. We have it here with Benfica, and you can get a look at how deep they went. They were playing the likes of Barcelona, Monaco, Juventus. Really impressive stuff, isn't it? Bologna, Bayern Munich. They are expecting to go deep into this competition. Europa League for Nice last season. So for me, it's experience for Benfica. Despite the market being a little bit lukewarm, I quite like what I'm seeing from them, and that will be my angle in. In the Europa League, Rijeka at the weekend in the Croatian HNL1 League were just a little bit higher odds than this, and it took them till the 86th minute to score 2 goals in a comfortable win in the end in their Croatian HNL1 League debut. Shelburne from Ireland are going to be found out, and how, unless they could park the bus or get a load of those illegal immigrants, stick them in a goal, tell them it's a hotel, a 5-star hotel. That could stop Rijeka. RFS and KUPS, both of these two sides, I think, are casualties of the Champions League. KUPS certainly done by Kairat Almaty, weren't they, over those 2 legs? And indeed, Malmo did for RFS. So these 2 sides have been relegated to the Europa League. I can't give you a handle in, apart from to say the market was extremely accurate about KUPS in their rounds with Kairat Almaty. So bear that in mind with today's quote. It's very lukewarm, 4.75 outsiders. Similar odds to Kairat Almaty. Kairat Almaty a little bit shorter. So the market's not expecting much from the KUPS today, but they are playing Latvian opposition. I thought Finland and Latvia, at least from the FIFA World Rankings for the international side, would be on a similar footing. The Japanese Emperor's Cup would interest me today. Early start, but I'm on the bus. I'm on a 5-hour trip back to Huahin today, but I will have the laptop on. I don't know if you fancy this or not. I quite like the Japanese Cup. Lots of odds-on favourites. We'll have a look at that this morning. The Norwegian Obos-ligaen, I have actually researched for members of footballtradingprofits.com. I know I'm not going to research these leagues any further, but it just gave a nice boost to the coupon. So let's just have a quick walk through. There are absolutely no form lines for me for Sogndal and Hod. Not enough to justify agreeing with the 1.87 odds. Asana and Lynn, I've left alone. You know the reason. 2.4 the favourite in an Arthur Daly league. Egersund and Lillestrøm, it's a simple matter of Lillestrøm being unbeaten this season and being an extremely effective trading side for us. On numerous occasions have been a goal or 2 down, and they remain unbeaten. Egersund, for their sins, have not beaten the top 7 home or away. They did keep it very tight in the last head-to-head, and note that head-to-head was at Lillestrøm. It's a 1-0 defeat. So they might be parking the bus with home advantage, Egersund, today. All away defeats for the top 13 for Moss. It's a bit like Degerfors the other day. You've got to pick Ranheim just on that basis. Raufoss and Kongsvinger. Well, at least one team is scoring at least 2 goals very, very regularly in Kongsvinger matches. That opens the door up for a neutral play. Over 2.5 goals, etc. No win, home or away, against the top 8 for Raufoss. Could see Kongsvinger bounce back today at 1.75 away favourite. Don't forget, In 14 of the last 15 matches, at least one team has scored at least 2 goals in a Kongsvinger match. Unbelievable, Jeff. Skeid and Mjøndalen, I believe this is the bottom 2 or thereabouts. Skeid got the head-to-head win 4-1. Mjøndalen against the bottom 3 have had 2 matches where they've conceded 4 goals in each match. The wheels are falling off Mjøndalen. They're a great side to oppose, so let's hope they score first. But do be careful. This is sponsored by Trotter's Independent Traders, this particular match. I would caution you. Stabæk and Arlesund. 14th against 3rd, but you were a 2.25 favourite. You're now 2.15. Why? It's because Arlesund are being plagued by draws, particularly when they're playing away from home against these bottom sides. That's the only reason I can find for the strange odds for a side so high up in the league like Arlesund. It's the draw-itis. Start very strong odds-on favourite against Odd. This could be a difficult match for Start today. Odd, yes, they're losing to the top 5 away, but 3 of those defeats have been 1-0. Defeats against 1st and 3rd have been 1-0 away from home. So clearly, Odd have a specific tactic against the big guns. Keep it as quiet as possible. Do a Tony Pulis. Get a 0-0 for as long as possible. Try to nick that 1-0 winner. So just be careful of that today. It's warm order for Start, but they might be made to work for this win if they are to win later on. Basel and the Young Boys. Let's just take a peek. This is the first derby-style match of the Swiss Super League season. 2-1 loss against St. Gallen and a 2-1 win against the Grasshoppers at home for Basel so far this season. What do you note there? Both teams have scored. Young Boys, 3-1 home win against Servette and a 1-1 away at Winterthur. Again, both teams have scored. This is a derby-style match, so I would be very cautious here. The form lines could be thrown out the window. There's only 2 matches to work off as well. Young Boys have won 4 of the last 5 head-to-heads. They're normally humdingers, these matches. Basel are on the improve. They a couple of seasons ago, they went through an absolutely woeful run. They used to be perennial title contenders. Both teams to score on that small sample, isn't there? I'm on my way to Hua Hin. It's going to mean, let me just do some work. I will arrive there about 5 p.m. UK time. So I'll be on hand for Sogndal and Hod. I know you've been itching for that Sogndal and Hod match. And some of the Landspokal Cup. But I'm certainly up and about today. I've been making money since the start of the season every single day. I hope to continue doing that and you will benefit from that. Looks at, well, dare I say it, readable enough Obosligan today. But don't forget, these are the lower tiers. It's like playing English League 1, English League 2. You get all enthused about it and then you remember they are there because they're not the greatest teams in the world. We've got some very exciting football coming on Saturday and Friday. We've got the English Championship beginning on Friday. It's joining us along with the Belgian Jupiler League, the Austrian Bundesliga. Fantastic stuff. I've put the Belgian Challenger League in because there will be some sides from the Belgian Jupiler League that have been relegated and they could dominate in this Challenge League. Chinese Super League has been tradable enough, so that's always going to be included. Croatian HNL 1 League, all of the odds-on favourites so far have delivered. So we will see if that continues at the weekend. Czech 1 League, Slavia Prague out and about. Poulsen, just been done by Rangers. Well done, Rangers, yesterday. Danish First Division, we'll just get a look from a goals perspective. And the English Championship is with us on Saturday. So it's very basic research for me. It's just who's up, who's down, head-to-heads from last season. Bang. Southampton surely will dominate this league, won't they? Years and years of Premier League football drilled into them. I know they don't have Matt Le Tissier anymore, but surely they've got an outstanding chance to go straight back up. You can't have a slip-up here, otherwise It's like the German Bundesliga 2. You'll never get out. Sheffield United stand out at home, probably from a 1-0 perspective here. Could be a 0-0 at half-time. I was impressed with Millwall last season. So there's some very familiar names. Middlesbrough, very defensive unit last season as well. But that's all to come up to at the weekend. We'll be fitting in League One, League Two as well. Probable live stream, although it's a little dangerous to do a live stream when you're only 2 matches into the season. So there's very little to work off. Finnish Veikkausliiga looks very readable as well. Gunistan were very, very impressive in their last match against, I think it was Interturku or Ilves, where they got that 2-2 late on. So keep an eye on the in-play stats. They really did impress me. KUPS, odds on away from home as well. French Ligue 2, I do like following this league as well. For the same reason, Saint-Etienne, newly relegated. Are they going to find this league to their liking? We will see. They're a big name relative to this league. Clermont were relegated as well. But it's with Saint-Etienne, I think, the focus should be. And Montpellier, I believe. So those are the 3. I can double check that now. Looking at French League last season. But we're getting past the 20-minute mark on this chat, so I better call it a day soon. Just have a quick look at 2024-2025. And we'll see, yeah. Saint-Etienne and Montpellier, certainly. Now, those are 2 big names. We could see dominance from these 2 this season. So I'll be looking on these 2 matches with interest on Saturday. Very, very solid coupon, isn't it? Getting fleshed out nicely. We've got a smattering of Bundesliga. We've got the second tiers with the top leagues. We've got the Eredivisie returning as well. Fantastic to see that. Feyenoord in Europe midweek. So just be careful. They could just underperform pre and post Europe, like Rangers did against Motherwell. PSV Eindhoven were excellent against Go Ahead Eagles coming from behind, but it took them a long time. And our old pals, the Eredivisie, are back every Friday. It's an over 2.5 goal league and a both teams to score league. So it's fleshing out nicely, isn't it? Portuguese La Liga and La Liga 2. Sporting Lisbon playing Casa Pia on Friday. And the SPL. Are we going to get more huff and puff pre and post European club competition for Rangers? We will see. Very impressed with their performance against Poulsen midweek. It's good stuff. We've got Turkey as well coming up. The special one out and about might be postponed because of the European fixture. I'm not too sure. But it's all hotting up nicely. Have a great day today. I will, of course, be seeing members of footballtradingprofits.com on Telegram today from 5 p.m. Caution again, first legs in Europe. And if the in-play stats don't speak to me like they didn't for Maccabi Tel Aviv, how on earth they got a 1-2 win with only 2 shots on target the whole match is quite beyond me. The in-play stats didn't show anything. So got to be very cautious today. But Thursday, it's going to be even busier. We've got the Conference League as well. Have a great day. I will see members of footballtradingprofits.com on Telegram from 5 p.m. and a possible look at the African football as well, which has been very readable. The in-play stats have been good as well.